Hello, Rough Rider Nation, and welcome to this edition of the Rider Report, the ins and outs of Yavapai College athletics. I'm joined today by Ryan Kogel, our head baseball coach. Ryan, welcome to the program.
Thank you.
Welcome back to the program.
Thank you.
Well, we've gone through a long fall season. We've gone through the holiday. We're into the new year. It's time to get the season started. And here in a few days, we open up against Colorado Northwestern Community College in Southern Nevada. Let's talk about the fall season a little bit. How'd that go for you? What'd you accomplish during the fall season?
Yeah, we're right around the corner. It seems like yesterday we were moving in and telling people where their classes were and where the baseball field was. And spring ball was not even a concern of ours at that time. But it's here, partially due to the fact we had a good fall. Incredibly improved team. And that doesn't mean that we were awful in the beginning of the fall. We won a lot of games in the beginning of the fall. But I think the biggest thing as far as fall goes for me is figuring out what you have as a team.
Right.
2015, you had a bunch of hitters. 2016, we weren't quite sure. And this year, I think you got a good grasp of what you have as a team. It's a heavy pitching team with a lot of depth positionally, very athletic. Really noticed throughout the course of the fall that it's a self-police team. So it's a lot of leadership. Coaches didn't have to work incredibly hard, and that was awesome. Introduce the program, introduce the playbook, set expectations, understand how to meet expectations, and those expectations are high. But really, really happy. I just enjoy this team. I know it sounds not very coachable and professional, but it's just an enjoyable team because they have some pride, and it's a self-police team.
So you talked a little bit about expectations. What are the expectations with this team coming into the season?
Yeah, I think year in and year out, it's always inside the program and outside the program, it's always win and win late. To me, though, among 26 players, 4 coaches, it's not as vague as that. It's a little bit more, you can grasp it a little bit more. It's not so much win late as it is introduce a process, and the expectation is, what is our process? How are we going to go about winning? And for this team, that process is real simple. It's the preparation through practice. So it's an incredibly focused team during practice. I like that. The hardest thing for this team to accomplish was understanding how to play amongst a team, because there was a lot of individual, not discredit them, they just didn't know each other, a lot of new faces, but understand how to play within a team, within a team system. So that expectation will carry out into the spring, and that really breaks down into just playing hard and making adjustments and learning from your teammates. So that's how you play together as a team.
Right. Now we in the past we've had some weather issues. We've had we haven't been able to get on the field at this time of the year. We've had great weather through the fall. We've had great weather through the holiday season. Knock on wood. Field looks good. Field's ready to go.
I just can't get it right. Last year I brought them back early, and there was 3 inches of snow on the ground. This year I didn't, and it's 65 degrees and sunny. So we'll be as ready as we can be. You know, it's always difficult this time. Not difficult. It's just you have to manage it. Can't control the weather, or you can control different practice schedules and things like that. We'll be as ready as we can. A lot of it due to the fact we had a good fall. And like I said, this team is self-policed, so that leads me to believe that they've been working pretty diligently in the offseason.
Very nice. Let's talk a little bit about the team. Let's talk about the returners. We have 8 returners, including 2 redshirt freshmen. They've been with you before. We've been with you for a year now, but we also have 5 sophomore transfers. What can you tell us about them?
The team's half and half sophomores, half freshmen, and that's enjoyable.
That's always a plus.
Well, it is not only for present day and this year, but also as you continue moving forward. We got ourselves into a little bit of a funk there, where you had 20 sophomores, 6 freshmen, 20.
Right.
You know, vice versa. But like I said, the leadership on this team is huge, and it's not just from the returning sophomores at Yavapai. There's a lot of faces that spent some time Pac-12 and saw a big old giant world academically and off the field, and as well as baseball. Right. So the world kind of slows down a little for all those guys. Our returning sophomores, you know, those 8 guys have done an unbelievable job making our job as coaches easier and their job as players easier, just by their leadership and understanding. I mean, this fall was probably pretty simple for them because they've been through it and they understand the academic side of things. They understand the expectations. They understand kind of the way things go in the fall. So I'm excited for that group to go into the spring because they're really prepared for success.
Let's talk academically a little bit, because I thought you guys had a good academic year. It was a tribute, I'm sure, to the kids, but also to your push on academics as well. But I thought you guys had a great academic year.
Yeah, and, it's hard to define what a academic greatness is, or that. But to me, setting them up for success to transfer is really all it is about. I mean, a 3.2 GPA, a 3.0 GPA. I mean, whatever to me, but it's all about, are they transferring to a four-year school? And for the sophomores, that's probably, this may not sound, this might be surprising, but for the sophomores, it's really about their academics in the fall, because without that, they're not going to a four-year school, and they really understand that and grasp that. Sophomores, incredible job academically this fall.
Yeah, it was. It really was. We could do another program. Maybe we'll do another segment about all the kids that have gone on and what they're doing here in the next year, because we have quite a few baseball players that are playing at not only universities, playing professionally, etc. Let's talk a little bit about the freshmen. You got 12 freshmen. How are they going to fit in?
They have to fit in. We rely on freshmen to win games, different than a four-year school. Right. And it's my recruiting spiel right now, but it's 2 freshmen minimum on the infield, and another freshman in the outfield, and a freshman catcher, 5 or 6 freshman pitchers, and they're ready. They're as ready as they can be, I should say. You don't know what you don't know, but they're as ready as they can be. Very talented group of freshmen, good recruiting class. You don't always know in the recruiting class what you're going to get. You think you have an idea, but this year I was pleasantly very happy with what we have coming in.
Nature of junior college, you got to rely on freshmen, you got to rely on sophomores, and you're talking about 18 and 19-year-olds that are out there trying to win ball games.
I'm okay with that this year. Not always, but this year I am.
Well, let's talk a little bit. We open up in Henderson, Nevada against some good competition out there. We play Arizona Western in a non-conference 3-game series down at Brophy Prep, and then back to Henderson against some Region 18 foes, Southern Idaho, Southern Nevada, Salt Lake City. What are you looking for out of those 11 games before we get started in the conference? And by the way, we start conference on February 17th against South Mountain Community College, which is a Division I foe of ours. So what are you looking for in those first 11 games?
It's hard to make our non-conference schedule as challenging as our conference schedule, but we did about as good of a job as you can do. I think out of our 55-game schedule, there's 5 teams that aren't in our region or district. So that means there's 50 games that are region or district games. That is a bit of a risk as far as record goes, but to me, record is secondary to how you're challenged and how you're competitive and how you're kind of making adjustments. So that's what those games will do for us, is show us our weaknesses. You kind of get an idea through the fall what those will be, but come spring they always change. And the biggest thing, we want to win early, but you can't accomplish that May, June goal in January. So you want to understand what you have to do to improve on as a team. In order to do that, you have to play good teams, and that's what we're doing.
And I hear you say this word, and you throw this word, and I've heard it said a lot in athletics, is a process. It's a process throughout the season. If we go 11-0, great. If not, and we're improving, we want to be playing our best ball come May, June.
Not to knock anybody, I could probably put together a schedule that would give us a good chance to go 10-1, 11-0. But that's not the process. The process isn't tomorrow. It's a long road. We worry about tomorrow only, but it's a long road. And I think introducing our players to the competition throughout the region and district has to be absolutely priority before we start conference.
And our region is arguably one of the best in the country, Division I and Division II. So it's not you don't have a gimme coming in on any given day. Winning 2 games on the road is great, is fabulous. Winning 2 games is fabulous at home as well, just because of the competition that we play in the region, the district.
Biggest adjustment from fall to spring is the grind of playing an opponent that can beat you every single time out, and that's really uncomfortable at times, especially if you go on a 1 or 2 game losing skid there, because things can get out of hand in a hurry. So you have to really get comfortable with that uncomfortable feeling, and that's the whole point of the difficult non-conference schedule.
Very good. Well, all right. The Riders are going to open it up here on Friday, January 26th against Colorado Northwestern out in Henderson. And then the home opener is on Saturday, February 17th against South Mountain Community College. So we invite you to come out to watch the Rough Riders in their quest for another run through the postseason. Hopefully another run to the World Series, and hopefully a run through the World Series as well to National Championship. Be sure to follow us on www.goroughriders.com. We will be streaming the games this year, home games, so please look for that information coming forward, and we'll post that all on our GoRoughRiders.com site. We'll post that on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. So always, as always, and like we always say, go Rough Riders.